All right, we're live.
Of our viewership that we have, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Millions of people who fall asleep to our dulcet tones.
All right, so since we're
That's
doing
just you.
this, I'm gonna do a 20 seconds before we start here. So 3, 2, 1. Of course, it might help to have the right headphones on, or any at all. Oh God, I tell you what.
He was having a conversation with us, but didn't hear anything we were saying.
I had you on the speakers, which is fine on Discord, but you try that on here, and it's just going to be all kinds of echo.
Yep, we heard bits of that.
Oh, can't have that either. People need to leave me alone when I'm podcasting.
You just have a. Don't you have things that you can turn on your phone, like busy?
Yeah, I just didn't have it on.
That sounds like a personal problem to me, Bill.
I did that so that I could talk to you guys and have an idea of whether or not you were going to be here and all that. Because
I'm like that, man, dude. I just show up.
Really rough week. What are we at? 63? Is that where we're at?
Oh no! Just wait until we get to episode 6,
7.
6.
All right, that's it.
My daughter. Oh my
God. Title of the podcast already. 6, 7.
6, 7.
Started.
See if anybody really knows what that means, because not even AI knows what that means.
No, it doesn't mean look, let's start. This is content.
Yeah.
This is content.
Yeah, except I don't know where we're at. So let me look. Okay, 63. Linux OTC. Welcome to episode 63. I'm Bill.
I'm Majid.
6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. 6, 7 has no meaning.
It doesn't. And, okay, so there's nothing new about old people taking the piss out of young people for all of their little vernaculars and all their little things that they do as young people. But this is the first time where they well and truly have something that means nothing, that means nothing to them, but they do it because...
Anyway.
Yeah.
You didn't mean anything. Originally, it meant, throwing something. It doesn't mean anything now.
Well, I thought it meant like the star 67 when you're calling somebody and you don't want to know who the...
Bill, that's because you're ancient.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, because of poor phones nowadays, old man.
That sounded like a 1973 Burger King drive-thru right there.
Yeah, I blame Video Ninja.
No, I'm not blaming it. I'm not blaming nothing on my beloved Video Ninja.
Well, is my audio still a bit shit?
Or is the audio is good. You're just cutting out. I think it's Video Ninja's fault.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you might not think so, but I mean, reality is reality.
Well,
you know what I
mean?
don't know. And reality doesn't care about your feelings.
Let's see if I can clean it up some. Audio, automatic. You got all the filters turned off, so let's...
So, when we last left our intrepid hero, Bill, he was still having problems with his Discord. And so now, we find ourselves having been booted to Video Ninja because of Bill.
You might notice the increase in video quality and the fact that it takes up more of the screen real estate. And it's overall a better experience on the show.
Really?
You miss half of what Majid is saying because Video Ninja can't keep up.
I think it's because he's holding it wrong, but that's just me.
That's not what she said.
That's a good one every time, man. God.
Does it truly mean anything, y'all?
60
anything mean anything at all? Do you know what I mean?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
God, there's the title of our show right there.
No, it'd be 6, 7. I read a quote the other day, which it's nothing technology related. I just found it so brilliant. I felt like it just related to me that I could think of some people that. So it's from. Has anyone filmed Rumblefish? It's a Ford Coppola film. Matt Dillon, Mickey Rourke, from the early 80s.
I have
Black and white. No. Anyway. The quote is, "Your mother is not crazy, and neither, contrary to popular belief, is your brother crazy. He is merely miscast in a play. He was born in the wrong era, on the wrong side of the river, with the ability to do anything that he wants to do, and finding nothing that he wants to do." And I just thought, that is a brilliant quote. How many people I can think of that would work for?
That is awesome. Oh goodness. Well, all right. So what do we got this week? Because I ain't got shit. I was stuck in New York all week.
Oh God! Oh, the calamity. Actually,
no, not New York City. Don't get it twisted. Upstate New York, where the only pair of pants anybody owns is a pair of pajamas.
Oh, the ones that say "juicy" on the back, and they all go to Walmart.
Oh, you betcha.
Okay, yeah.
Syracuse, New York, stuck in a hotel, and it literally blizzarded the whole time I was there. Because
all of these cultural references I'm not getting, so I'm assuming it's like a shitty part of the country.
I'm gonna let Bill explain it because I'm not the correct.
Oh, because you don't want to be held accountable for the things.
Oh no. It's,
so, boy, I can't use the words I want to use. There is a subset of individuals.
Okay, is it like Florida Man? Because I figured out what Florida Man was when Eric was on. I remember on one of the episodes.
Florida Man's usually got jeans on. It's
that's what in the pajamas or something.
Well,
or dressing gowns or something.
I mean, pajama pants. You've got a good sized subset of people in this country that think it's okay to go out in public wearing pajama pants, and it drives me up the wall every time.
So yeah. Remember, how since we moved 8 from Northeast down here, right? School. Who went to school? One of my mates' kids used to go to a neighboring school, not the school that my kids went to, but the one like just a bit further down. And their headmaster actually put out a thing saying that it was not appropriate that the mothers and the fathers were turning up to drop their kids off in their pajamas. Right, and this actually became a thing, and it actually like ended up in the news. And it's like, since when did it become socially acceptable you drop your kid as if you literally out of bed? To which I realized that under this bird I haven't got changed. I'm still wearing my pajamas. So I was like, okay, it's obviously a thing.
Oh, so they don't do that over there. People don't do that over there. You don't have.
Who here or?
No, I know they do it where you're at.
Right. No, Maja
they
just
do.
explained that they do.
They do. That, and the fact that I said they do, so that the headmaster had to put a thing out, and it ended up in the B news because it's
Listen, Bill, if you missed that whole thing, that's Video Ninja right there, man.
So you heard the whole thing of what he said?
Oh no, not at all.
Oh,
but
okay.
I heard enough.
Yeah, I didn't quite hear enough. I'm trying to clean him up, but it's not working. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so my interesting, funny anecdote has been completely destroyed by Video Ninja. You know, Leo,
not completely.
But Leo, I'm starting to understand the hate now.
You all come to my side eventually.
Yeah, well, I think
we'll see, because I turned on a limiter for you.
You know what else we do in Texas is we drink from ball jars or pure. Well, this is a pure jar, but. You know,
so let's talk about what's in that pure jar right now.
It's straight moonshine, my man.
I'm telling you, it's gonna get real interesting here in about 15 minutes.
No, this is just water. Just water.
Yeah.
I'm old now.
There was a test where it was who you always used, one to have 2 liter water bottles.
Wait, whoa! I caught enough of that to hear water bottle.
A 2-liter water bottle.
Water bottle.
2 liter water bottle.
I'll tell you what, Maja, do me a favor and reboot and come back in.
Yes,
Real quick.
because
Let's
it's you, Majid.
Well,
Video Ninja,
I mean, even if it is
obviously.
video, then a reboot might help it.
Okay, then. In the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the former California governor, I'll be back.
I thought he was gonna come with me if you want to live, and then we all disconnect at the same time, and then the show's over.
That's what I should do.
Come on.
We had some bad audio.
I'm gonna need you to recap for me real quick. What happened to your machine, and does it have anything to do with the fact that you can't not reinstall stuff, like can't stop doing it?
That's not me. I've had Mint on this machine since the get-go. I don't mess with this machine at all. All of a sudden it started giving me either I go to all green screens when I get on Discord, and this only happens on Discord. I get on Discord in one of the video rooms. As long as I'm the only one in there, it's fine. The second anybody else gets in the room, either my screens all turn green or everybody else sees nothing but green. And there was an update last week that seemed to fix the problem. So we did last week's shows and everything worked. And then when I signed on this morning, there was another update to Discord. And so I ran that update, and now it's back to the same behavior again. So, and it's only Discord that's doing this to me.
And you don't. So on this machine that you've got, do you have other OSs that you could boot into? It's just Mint.
It's just a Mint machine, period. Because I mean, I do this show called Mintcast, and I feel like I'd be a absolute fraud of a human being.
You're one of the very few that agree with me on that, Bill.
No,
everybody ran all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah. We got nothing now, Majid.
Listen, that's what was happening to me, man. I had to turn it off, and then I had to pick everything again.
I did that already.
Oh, hey, there you are.
Okay. For God's sake.
No chippity chips yet.
All right. So, Bill, we're going to go down that road, are we? The Mintcast. Oh, I think it's important. I think it's important that everybody who's on Mintcast should run Mintcast.
Listen, 66% of this podcast thinks that.
6-7, actually. Hey!
By the way, your audio issue's cleared up, so thank you very much.
No, it's Video Ninja couldn't handle 3 people, so it started to choke. And then after all of your rejiggering, we had Majid.
WebRTC is
Majid
all it
came
is.
back in. Listen, no, there's a back end to this. There's a back end to this, Bill.
Very minimal. I mean, it's just
anyway. So this whole video called palaver or Discord palaver, I still have a hope maybe that it might be an X11 Discord thing, just because it's like a vaguely technical idea that I've had, which might be true. And if it turned out to be true, I'd feel we really validated and not so much the imposter that I normally feel. But Bill hasn't managed to find a Wayland distro to try this out on.
Well, I haven't.
Bill, they're basically all Wayland at this point. I feel like that's kind of on you.
But you know, but you see, because Bill's a Puritan and he has to be running Mintcast because Linux Mint because he's on Mintcast, right? He's like ideology, you know, it's Trumpian, shall we say? His obsession with Mint.
Thing right, it's going to be that I'm using the distro that we love to talk about every fortnight. Thanks, Clem.
Got him. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I'm still. I don't know why you're being so nasty about it. I've been using Mint for like 18 months. Yeah,
I think it's fine to have other options, and if Mint is not serving you in the purposes that you want it to, then I think it's totally fine to at least temporarily run, something else.
I think, to be fair, I mean, of course I like taking the piss out of Majid for this, but to be fair, we probably should have people running other stuff because we do also say that this is the podcast for the Linux Mint by the Linux Mint community for all users of Linux.
Well, yeah, that's why I have my distro hopping laptop back there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think anybody needs to 100% run Linux Mint all the time forever if you're going to be on that podcast. I do think that you need to have it on a device. I think you need to touch it. I think you should probably experience the upgrades.
Yeah,
all of that.
This is making it sound like I don't run Linux Mint. I've been running
Linux
Mint for the last 18 months.
Majid, why don't you run Linux Mint, man?
I am. Mom, they're having a go at me. Mom, they're taking the mick out of me. Mom.
No. For me, it's I want to have Mint on the machine that I'm not going to touch. I don't know why people think that I put Arch on this machine. I don't think I've ever
because apparently you run Arch and you keep reminding us that you run Arch. By the way, you know, to the extent you even had Arch on your flipping Discord badge thing. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. So actually, who's the one not promoting Mint now? Hauser?
I've got Mint back on my Discord there, Dr. Majid, by the way. But I could also have Image. That's another one I've got because I'm enthusiastic. But no.
That's another taking the piss out of me, isn't it? Because my Image, I couldn't get Image to work.
Oh, you haven't got that to work yet?
No, No.
It's so simple, though. What are you trying to use, Podman or something?
I'm not rising to this.
Yeah. All you got to do, man, something about a Docker Compose file, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
actually, I must say, I will give Image one thing. It did help me figure out how Docker Compose files work, and things like that. You know, it was a good learning experience, and I think if I probably tried it again, I'll probably be fine. I think the one thing that I wanted from it was maybe not its USP. Its USP is basically that it's a Google Photos alternative, right? You can just upload all your photos to it. You can access them wherever you want. It's an open source thing. It's self-hosted. You know where everything is. That aspect of it is brilliant. For me, what I wanted was a repository of old photos that could be accessed by other people. So now, I'm not saying you can't do that, but obviously I wasn't clever enough, or whatever mistakes I made, meant that I couldn't necessarily do that. Part of it, again, was with my own fault. As I said, I found out afterwards that my Docker Compose files were all being stored on my SSD rather than on my data drives.
I think there was one thing that you missed there, Majid, and that is if you're trying to share photos of you naked, that's OnlyFans. And then you charge.
You can get paid for it.
Yeah, $9.99 a month, I think. And then you could also do this thing where they're like bespoke photos, so you could put those behind like a singular paywall for a singular user. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
Okay, yeah, good.
Well, I was just thinking, you're talking about what you want to do is you want to make as you said, a repository of old photos. So you wanted to create like an album sort of thing where you can click on it and see, and like not add anything to it, not necessarily to add anything to it. I think you'd be better off to make a WordPress site. And
that did occur to me actually.
No,
part of the reason
XFCE, they got hacked, and then Plasma, they almost got hacked.
Well, if you don't
check,
so
they changed it up.
Config, except every 6 years.
You know what? To their credit, Bill, they were not the ones managing it.
Well, there you go. There's
so I didn't understand this news properly. So can you explain it to me?
Okay, real quick. So XFCE about a month and a half ago got hacked. So what that means was someone got access to a singular page on WordPress, and they were able to change where the download link went from the torrent download, from getting a torrent to getting a zip file. And if you mess with that zip file on a Windows machine, that was a virus. KDE Plasma seeing that, or KDE the group seeing this, was like, we need to change. We don't need to be on WordPress anymore because we're on the same backend as this. So that means that we're probably vulnerable to the same exact thing. So what they did was, it was another whole thing too, because what they did was they were going to move to Hugo, but they didn't tell anybody about it. So for 3 total days, everybody was like, oh my God, Kubuntu is hacked. Kubuntu.org is hacked. It's down. It's over. You can't download it. Oh, no. What are you going to do? And then they came back up, and they're like, nah, guys, here's some AI images. And everybody got pissed about that because they were like, the AI images, how dare you, Kubuntu? And they were like, but they're just placeholders. And
so hard it is to make everybody happy.
Oh, I know. And so Kubuntu took them down, put up the real website, and now they're fine because they're on Hugo, a static site generator, and it's totally fine now. But what I'm saying is that what you need to do, Majid, is learn HTML and CSS.
Oh God, have we gone back to this again, have we?
Yeah, and you need to do it like a purist, like a true internet aficionado that runs. Because let me tell you something. You want a static site, okay, Majid? You want something that can't be hacked, unhackable. You want to be a shadow in the night. You know what I mean? Black on black. Can't see nothing. You just see your photos, and the only way to really achieve that is with the language of the gods, HTML.
Because there is a slightly serious point to this, which is that
He's absolutely right.
I've mentioned that my son suffers from autism. I don't know if that's the correct terminology nowadays. I probably should know, but anyway. And one of the things that gives him joy, because it's difficult, like a life being neurodivergent, do you know what I mean? Especially if it's not too severe that you don't know what's going on. Just severe enough to know that you don't feel normal. You're different to everyone else. You think differently, whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, you feel normal. Everybody else sees you as not normal.
Yeah.
And that is what really causes a whole lot of strife.
And so one of the things that gives him real joy is looking at old photos. He loves looking at photos of when we used to live in the other, when we were abroad or when we lived somewhere else, things like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's for that reason, really. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to have something that he can, if he's feeling a bit low or whatever, he can pick up, I know it might sound really minor, and in the big scheme of things, it's probably not the, he's probably got other things that need to be sorted out. But that's kind of where my thing comes from. Do you know what I mean?
Something you want to get right. I do get it.
Yeah, and so I mean, I have now managed to sort that problem by having a Samba share on my ZFS pool, which he can access, and he can see the old. It's just going through a file manager, then basically, isn't it? And just kind of looking out things like that.
Can you access that from outside of the network?
No, not from outside the network.
I have a question for you then when you're done.
Okay, go on. No, I mean, I was just going to say, so that was I just thought if I had something like Image, which would be a lot more easier to use, a lot more, user-friendly, a bit like Google Photos, that kind of thing, then, it will be easier than necessarily, trudging through, okay.
You've hit a chord with me. I'm going to help you build something now.
Yeah. And then the thing is that I mean,
pull at your heartstrings, Bill. You
jerk.
He
jerked at me a little bit there.
Excuse me.
Could have done it a long time ago. A long time ago, just to feel good about yourself. But no.
Yeah.
Had to hit him with the Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that because I'm a little bit OCD probably myself anyway, I do organize these photos really well anyway. I've been meticulous with my backups, which phone did what one in what year, and all that sort of stuff. So, in a sense, it's fine just accessing it the way that he's doing, because it is still kind of vaguely organized anyway. It's just a bit old school, get your laptop out and, go on or something like that, rather than just an app that, he sits on his phone and he looks through. Do you know what I mean? Because because I do feel sorry. I mean, obviously I would feel sorry for the poor lad. He's my son, right? But, it is just, as I said, it's like, for example, I mean, maybe this is not the best analogy, but it's like, for example, I've seen this with patients who've got like early dementia. When they know they're losing it, it's really difficult for them because they know they're forgetting. They know they're not there 100%, right?
Unless they're forgetting that they're forgetting, and then they're fine.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. When you get worse with dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever it might be, right? You then do forget. And there used to be a term that doctors used to use, pleasantly confused. You didn't know what was going on, but you didn't really understand anything that was going on. But as I said, it's the early stages when you know there's a problem and you're forgetful, or you're dropping things, or whatever it might be. So as I said, anyway. So Yeah, so next time you want to take the mick at me for my immature woes, yeah, Bill, you take a long, hard look in the mirror and think what kind of man you are.
I'm gonna help you build something fantastic. That way, I can
only after he felt bad. That just keep that in mind, Mike.
Only that way after. I can just continue to take, as you say, the mick out of you.
Yeah,
knowing that whatever I say
here's
balanced
the deal.
by the wonderful things that I do.
There are about 6 or 7 people that are using Pixel
6, 7.
Got them. So that are using Pixel Fed right now, and I'm curious if I know it'd be a big undertaking for you, but would your son like the Instagram style, being able to scroll through photos of a certain account?
Fed.
That's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
Because, I mean, as long as you do them in chronological order or whatever, he'll flip through them, and he can start at any point, right? Because you have that big grid that you can flick down, go all the way to the bottom, or stop somewhere in the middle, and in the little text spot, you can put year, phone, like you mentioned, like all these little details about the photo, and they're like location, place, things that you can add to essentially the metadata, and you could bake that into the metadata as well if it's not already there. But again, it's a lot of work. But if he's looking for a more modern interface to actually access this, and you want him to be able to access this from outside of the home, I think that might not be a terrible idea. Plus, I mean, depending on what kinds of
thing too, right?
Yeah,
so you can access it through the same app you would use to get on Mastodon or whatever.
Yeah, the kids don't care about that, Bill.
Well, no, but I'm saying it simplifies it for you somewhat. You don't have to have a separate app for it. It's just another federated thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, something to think about.
I'll look into it. I mean, I think one of the other things was I think this is just a problem with all Linux nerds, is that we always we run before we can walk. Do you know what I mean? Now that I'd figured out Docker Compose, now that I'd managed to get Jellyfin and Audio Bookshelf and all that sort of stuff working, and I decided, well, maybe I need to figure out Tailscale and WireGuard, and I think that's messed things up. But
it's in a container module, so it won't mess everything else up. It'll just mess itself up, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it is. So that's why the other containers were all fine, but that container,
right?
Which does actually ask a question, actually. Oh, hello. You all right? No, this is audio podcast. Sorry, on the video. Bill's.
Go to YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Bill's daughter has entered the chat.
Bill, tell her 6'7". Tell her right now.
We need you to clear up something. What does 6'7" mean? Yeah, see?
Exactly. No, I know. No, that's totally fine.
Everybody knows that.
It's not supposed to mean anything.
It exists for no other reason.
It exists to piss you off, Bill.
6'7".
Appeared in a song. Yeah. What song?
Guy from Chicago. I forget the name of the rapper, but he grew up on 67th Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ask her if she would be interested in Majid's photos chronologically ordered, so that we can.
You want to see pictures of Majid?
That was the creepiest thing you could have asked her.
I know, exactly.
That way. There's OnlyFans.com over there.
Yeah.
Yes, let's not talk about OnlyFans with the 13-year-old around.
Yeah. Oh, I do not assume that there are things they don't know. I'm not.
Oh, of course, but
I'm not going to make the same mistakes our parents made, where they just assume we didn't know because they didn't know, which is
no. It's called denial. It's called denial. Yeah, and it's not just a river in Egypt.
Good. I'm glad you did it, because if you didn't, I was.
I'd been all right if neither one of you did it.
No, not ever.
See, that's denial. See, there you go. There you go. He's having denial about denial.
We got to have about 6 or 7 terrible jokes in every episode.
6, 7.
Make it stop. This is great. Good stuff.
I do love this show. Anyway, so
Eric should be here.
You run Arch, by the way, you were saying. And you run Arch on this podcasting box. Yeah, and that's why you've been having all these video card problems.
Did she look it up for you like an old man, Bill?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Skrilla, doot 67.
Yeah, that's the lyric.
Oh my God! Take this away. Take this away. Take this away. Away with you. Anyway.
Seriously, this is a treat for anybody who's watching on YouTube. Yeah. This is brilliant. Audio listeners, we do apologize. That was just some great comedy just then.
Mm-hmm. So that was the lyric, right? It's a Chicago-based rapper grew up on 67th Street, and then like
67th Street. Okay.
Yeah. It was he was either born on or near 67th Street. And
I thought 67th Street was where like he used to hang out. Something important.
Yeah. That it's something about where he hung out or was born. Yeah. Right, but it doesn't mean anything about that. That has nothing to do with it. So
you hear rappers talking all the 67th baby, Gangsterville, bleed that.
Oh my God, Bill!
Why does this rapper have a lisp?
Yeah, and why does he sound? Why does he sound like he's 70 years old?
67.
There we go.
Talk about your geriatric rapper. Do you know what I mean?
This is a timepiece, and you had to have been there.
I have.
Well, it's evidently he is a timely piece as well.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, every podcast I've done today was shit.
Hey, what are you on about? This is fantastic. This is brilliant. This is what people see. This is what people want. Right? Do you think they want information? Yeah. Do you think they want information? You think they want to have, psychological growth or all this kind of stuff? No, they want to see. They want to see three guys taking the mick out of each other and having a laugh. And
what the hell does any of this have to do with Linux? This is bullshit.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's going to be one, isn't there? Going, this is a Linux OTC podcast, and they didn't do anything about Linux at all. Kind of like if you had somebody who, I don't know, who was on Mintcast, right? Who kept on saying, we're doing a cast called Mintcast, and there's nothing about Linux Mint on any of this. This is terrible.
I can't believe Leo.
You just gotta have a little bit
like this.
You just gotta have a little bit.
This show is ruining you, Leo. It's taken from your celebrity status.
What do you mean?
Apologize.
What celebrity status is it? What? Sorry,
he's on a real Linux show called
Linux User Space. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I love Linux User Space. I love it, and I love you, Leo. But he doesn't take that seriously.
Not enough to listen to about it. Not enough to listen to it, Majid. Just to be clear, because I talked about the story about the whole Ubuntu thing. Yeah. So I know what it means, Majid.
Yeah.
Empty words. Empty.
They put work into that show, though. That's
do they really? I mean, really?
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
Have you listened to some of his history and all that?
Okay. You know what? Actually, props there. I do apologize. I take it all back. Yeah.
I don't know anybody that
maybe about 67% of it.
6-7.
It's not gonna stop. No matter what I do.
No,
it's not.
No. Until you can stone face through those jokes, they'll never stop being funny.
I don't think you can do it.
And this is the thing, isn't it? It's the thing about don't get a reaction. Don't react. Because if you react, it just makes it worse.
You reel me in. Yeah.
Exactly. Apparently 67% of the time, that's what happens.
Ooh, too late. Too soon.
See, but the gross face also works. So.
Yeah. On the audio podcast, yeah?
That's right.
Yeah. So
Arch Linux.
You're an Arch, do you? Really?
Sometimes. It's not. I mean, it's the least interesting distro to talk about because it's.
Listen, I'm going to be controversial on this one, maybe.
Oh, you, Leo, controversial? Never. That's never happened before.
Arch is fine. It's the AUR. The AUR sucks like a lot.
But that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
No, I know exactly. Which means that if the AUR is undetachable from Arch, that makes Arch kind of suck. So
no, I just say Arch is the double-edged sword. You need to know what you're doing.
Okay, so the AUR can get you into trouble if you are using
the end. That's the end of the statement.
That is a full stop.
Normally, the only trouble you're going to run into is with the app.
Sometimes
with the app that you got from the AUR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, if you read the manual, you'd know.
Yeah.
Well, if you install something from the AUR and it stops working, it just means that you've got to recompile it because the dependency chain underneath.
You got to recompile it.
But that's just an update command away. And that's going to happen sometime. That's going to happen no matter what if you're compiling software yourself. That's just the reality.
Right, but
of
I think the problem with that is that half of the people that are, 67% of the people that are installing the AUR
67
don't know that they're compiling stuff. They just that's yay this yay that.
Yeah, really I mean that is true, and I would actually agree with that. Yeah, because it for me, I remember when I first started trying to use any of the Arch-based distros, that was the kind of paradigm shift I had to have in my head, that when I was going onto the AUR, I was not getting any packages. I was following a script which got the stuff that needed for my computer to make the program.
You can blame the little distros like your Endeavors and your Manjaros that have taken the whole Arch thing and simplified it to where it's in a GUI.
No, Endeavor's great because they don't turn on the AUR by default. You have to go digging for it.
Well, same with Manjaro.
That's great. Yeah. Manjaro's done the same thing too. They pretty much swore off the AUR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have to jump through some hoops.
That's great.
Kashi has the AUR by default, but if it's not obvious, you do still have to hunt around a few settings.
In the regular Arch world, in order to get the tools that will go out and do it for you, you've got to go through the mundane process of going to the AUR, downloading it, and make package TAC ISC and building.
You don't got to do none of that. You got to download the script from GitHub and run it like they told you.
Well,
what I mean? Like
I actually
this
made
is
one
why.
of those scripts, by the way.
Yeah. By the way. Yeah.
But there is a question that I have, which is that why does the AUR exist on Arch and there isn't anything like that on any other distro? Is there something with the way that Arch is architected that makes that kind of
there is, because it assumes there's a lot of stuff done in a lot of package repositories where a lot of decisions are made for you. And in Arch, even if you install something from a regular repository, it's not even going to assume which systemd resources you want enabled, because some stuff out there has either a systemd timer or a systemd service, but neither one of those is enabled by default like you would be used to with something Ubuntu based or even Debian based, because there are pluses and minuses to both of those approaches. I don't have it. I probably should have an example of that off the top of my head, but that is something that exists. Arch makes no decisions for you whatsoever. So in a distro like Ubuntu, where there are decisions being made as to how things should run, how things should be set up, right down to your bash RC. If you ever look at your bash RC in your home directory, something Debian based or Ubuntu based, you've got a big old long script there of things that are set up to sort of streamline your experience when you're using the shell and whatnot. You open up a bash RC in vanilla Arch, and it is an empty file with nothing. You are expected to handle all of that on your own. So building packages on Arch is going to be a lot, I'm not going to say better, but it's going to be a bit more
straightforward,
because there's absolutely no decisions being made as any of the dependencies are installed or with the system underneath it. Everything has to be set up yourself. And
I have a feeling Leo might disagree.
No, sort of. It's not because Arch is the way that Arch is. It's because Arch is in some ways a spiritual successor to the old way. And so speaking of history episodes, Majid, here's one for you. So back in the day, what you ended up having to do on distributions like Slackware, where you got the entire system on a disk, right? Like that was the whole entire point. You plopped the whole thing. Any software that you would ever want to use is on the disk, but there were softwares that were not on the disk that you might still actually want to get access to. And what would you have to do? You would have to run out to their website. You'd have to download their tarball. You'd have to read the README file. You'd have to make sure that all the dependencies are satisfied. You'd have to also make sure that that you doubled up on libraries to make sure that well, this one requires a different version of this software, so I can't use the system-based one, so I've got to do some relinking here, and then keep it all in one directory, and then compile the thing, and then it'll break, and then I won't be able to compile it. So I got to fix whatever it says, and then I got to compile it. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you finally get a working piece of software that you can actually run on a system that was not actually designed to run it. Enter the AUR. The AUR is that process refined and put into a repository that you can pull down without having to do any of the interim work, which I think is the problem. So, it's a good thing because it democratizes the way that we install software, and it's like, whatever. No, it's terrible. When you don't go through that process, you don't understand your system. And when you don't understand your system, you're going to be installing slop software onto your machine, and then it's just going to break one day, and you're not going to know why. So it was superior when you did it in Slackware. And Alien Bob is just a superior package maintainer, and that's why things work better on Slackware, whether you disagree with the way that Slackware works at all. The AUR is just kind of a danger zone because you don't know what's going on. And
ostensibly, Arch, the people that make Arch Linux, people that love Arch Linux, will tell you that all the things you described right there are things that you are supposed to understand.
But you don't. But that's the thing, right? You can say it all day, but the vast majority.
Part of the reason for the hostility, though, sometimes when you go and you screw up because you tried to use something the easy way, and then you go looking for help, and then you're met with a little bit of apprehension and hostility from the community, and I think a lot of that is because the community is aware that people are trying to take shortcuts in a distribution that should not be. It should be used by people who understand.
Just say it, Bill. RTFM.
Well, no, I don't know about the manual, but
I do kind of get where you're coming from. I think because technology has become so ubiquitous, and because we're all using pocket computers disguised as phones, and installing apps on that and all that sort of thing, where people are expecting that same paradigm is on computers as well, and they're being sold that a little bit. Windows is selling that in a way with the Microsoft Store, and Apple obviously has its Mac App Store, and you find Linux doing the same thing with Ubuntu and App Centers and GNOME software and all the other things that we've got. And so once you start going along that line of, okay, well, first I started off here, then I started off there, when I started off there, when I started off there. You keep thinking it's like a linear progression, but it's not a linear progression. Installing something on Ubuntu isn't that much different from installing something on Android, right. I would say, as in from a process perspective.
When you're talking Flatpaks, I'd say.
Yeah, when you're talking Flatpaks, when you're talking snaps or whatever,
Or but just using the App Store, a graphical App Store, that same paradigm is...
But with the AUR, as you say, it's not just linearly, it's like exponentially more complicated. And if you're thinking that, it's just the same as the software manager on other distros, then you're gonna get stuck. Because you say it's not the same thing.
It's not even like the PPAs in Ubuntu. It's something different than
I'd say it's safer than the PPAs.
Nah.
Yeah. Because the PPA is somebody you can put when you install PPA, and then you've got a dependency chain, right, of stuff on.
He's about to describe the AUR2 module. Just to be clear.
I suppose if they put in the package build.
And nobody reads that.
These other, they're supposed to. Do I read them? No, never.
No, but exactly. This is the point. And this is the point, isn't it? That it's not just like opening up a software center or a software manager or an app center and clicking install, is it? It is, you're not just getting a piece of software from a particular repository. This is all this other stuff that's around it.
Yeah.
I
will say, though, that Flatpak and FlatHub have significantly, or at least in my case, it's significantly reduced my dependence on the AUR, because if there is anything, first of all, the community repo of Arch Linux is enormous anyway, so you normally don't have to use the AUR unless you are following. You need the Git version of something. You want to follow the development cycle of a piece of software. That's when it really comes in handy. Mm-hmm. But if there's something not in the repos, the Flatpaks, I've found myself using those more often than
that's blasphemy, Bill, on an Arch.
I got Flatpaks and snaps. They both.
I've tried to live just on Flatpaks and snaps, partly because I tried out one of the immutables for a long time. I was on Aurora for ages before I came back to Mint, and I've tried out Bluefin, and we've talked about this.
You'll find out that you're wrong eventually. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I've tried to, and I would like to just use Flatpaks and stuff.
You're like Eric. There's always
one thing that you need. There's always one thing that you need that you don't manage to find, and then
so you just stay on Windows. I know, right?
No, I don't stay on Windows. I stay on Ubuntu or Mint, because then the one piece of software which I can't get as a Flatpak or a Snap, I'll use the deb package for. But everything else, I will try and use one of the containerized applications, and I haven't got any issue about whichever one, whether it's Flatpak or Snap or AppImage. I've got no problem with whichever one.
What package is it? But just out of curiosity,
there's been a couple of cloud provider things, sync tools and stuff. There's been a couple of crypto wallet stuff. Okay. Nothing major. It's not like I'm a big crypto bro or anything. But I'm just saying. Go on.
If you're running your wallet on your phone or your daily driver desktop, stop it.
No, I'm not doing that.
Stop it now. Get some help. That's dangerous.
Somebody you can call.
Yeah. At that point, just put it on an exchange, Majid. Just put it on an exchange.
Yeah. No, I mean
Coinbase.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but I'll have an argument for that too, right? If you don't own your wallet, if you don't own your coins, then you don't have anything. It's not yours. Yes. You're borrowing it from Coinbase.
Yeah. That's why I don't have anything on an exchange.
That concept of owning the technology. I mean,
ideally, you should have a hardware wallet, really, if you want to be full-on secure.
No, because then you can have. Well, I mean, maybe, but you have to upgrade your hardware wallet every now and then because the crypto changes, and unless that hardware wallet has firmware, which makes it less of a hardware wallet, more of a software wallet that is portable, then I mean, you're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's not like it's not like I'm a big crypto guy, but I do have some that I just want to not lose. Do you know what I mean? Not that it's worth a huge amount, but hey ho.
I had some years ago, but then it turned into just I wasn't making any real money on. Is it even worth getting into these days?
No,
see, hold on. No. Y'all see, this is the problem. This is the problem with crypto. Y'all are looking at it as an investment. It was never meant to be that. It is now because XRP and Ethereum and all this other crap is like, here, have a kitty picture.
Now it seems like a big Ponzi scheme, to be honest.
No, it was always a big Ponzi scheme. But, at least it was the nerds that were controlling the Ponzi scheme in the beginning. Because we were the ones with all the power and all the mining and all the everything. And we were the ones that were validating the blockchain. And we were the ones that it's not like that anymore. Now it's like 67% China that owns, most of those blockchains or whatever. So you're going to end up with this disproportionate amount of power on the blockchain. Anyway, that's not really what I was getting at. What I was getting at was crypto was supposed to be money.
And it's supposed to be used as money.
Bill, when you spend $1, you don't think about how much. You might complain that now $1 doesn't buy you as many eggs, but you're not looking at the value of $1 every day. You're not looking at the chart. That's what people do with crypto. That's the wrong way to look at it because that's never what it was intended to be. It was intended to be a way to exchange value without having to have a middleman. And what do we have now? Coinbase and Binance and all that. We have middlemen.
Yeah.
Crypto has lost all of its meaning and all of its value because the entire point that it was created is now moot. Because now we have exchanges, aka banks, in between absolutely everything. So why have crypto at all anymore? There's no point to it other than what you're looking at it now as, Bill, as a speculative investment so that maybe you can make some actual money on it or something like that. So yes, Bill, sell all your crypto, because if that's the wrong ideological way to look at it.
I think I've got just enough in there to keep the Coinbase account open. The only thing I ever used it for was to pay for VPN service and a couple other things online.
Into.
So criminal activity. See, Bill, now you're just perpetuating the stereotype, man. Criminal adjacent?
Let's think of a better. No, let's void out
things that you would rather keep anonymous.
Anonymous. Let's use that word.
Except crypto is not anonymous, man. You weren't spending Monero, which is at least ostensibly anonymous. You were spending what? What were you spending, Bill? Tell me.
Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. I've never had anything but Bitcoin.
Oh, absolutely. So every transaction is in the clear, can be traced back to your wallet, so not anonymous in any way whatsoever. Right. Got it. Okay. So it's like Bill is using the AUR without RTFM.
And for those of you that don't know, RTFM, because I know there's people out there like,
I've been hearing that for years. I don't know what the fuck it means.
Well, it means read the fucking manual. Now, think back to all the people that have said RTFM to you, and
that's what it meant.
And think about how you would like to destroy their lives.
Yeah, and then think about those well-written manuals that all of these developers have written on these softwares.
You didn't read that Discord post I wrote about all of this? Come on, man. You got to keep up with the news. At least Gen 2 sends you a mail directly to your eMerge system, you know? Good old days.
I have found as more... Gen 2 is more complicated than Arch, but then again,
it's just Arch with more weighting.
And it's a lot
good
more
way of putting it.
Although I haven't tried it since then, but I hear that there's more binary packages now.
There are. That's what I mean. Like, these two distributions have gotten closer together in terms of like the difficulty of them. You can pull binary packages of Firefox and WebKit and all these other kinds of things because those are the things that historically take a really, really long time to compile. I mean, but that kind of defeats the purpose, I think. But
Chromium, glibc.
Yes, but I think we're long past the days of that's why Gen 2 is cool. Back in the day, like on a Pentium 2 or whatever, you would compile your system for a Pentium 2 and you would get a noticeable difference in performance. I mean, we're talking 15-20% increase, uplift in performance, right? I mean, some of the Pentium 3s, I think, saw something like 6-7% uplift.
6-7.
And but that was kind of the point, right? Like, you would actually compile your system so it was faster. Nowadays, the architectures are so homogenized that you're getting maybe 1 to 2% uplift. You will not notice how fast Chrome renders using its just-in-time compiler for JavaScript. You won't notice that at all because Facebook already sucks. You know, like all of these other things that you would actually want to use those compilers for that you would maybe get that performance boost out of. They all suck. So they're all 5% worse now. So your 2% uplift is not worth it. You might as well just do it on a phone. So,
well, actually, I would say that most people's phones are more powerful than the computers that they have. Mm-hmm. Not saying necessarily because I do genuinely believe that. I mean, you know, as whenever you see any kind of real world testing, not benchmarks, but like, you know, real world testing of, you know, how long does it take to video edit or sound compression or whatever it might be, the phones always win. And it's not just because of optimization or the cruft of Windows or anything like that. You know, it is just raw horsepower sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I do feel we need to use.
Why did we make the phone so damn powerful? Is it because the software is so shit?
No, it's because you need to be able to sell it. And how are you going to sell it?
Yeah, now I know.
Because what's the point if your phone is absolutely fine and does everything that you want it to, which they have for at least 5 years at the very least, and probably more, right? Yeah. Why would you upgrade? In fact, that we're seeing that, aren't we? We're seeing that people are holding onto their devices for much longer than they used to. They're not doing the 2-yearly contract upgrade or thing that they used to do. Because I mean, even guys, I mean, like, how long did you have your phone for? It was about 5 years, wasn't it, Bill? You had
My
your
Note 10
S10.
Plus. I had that for 5 years, and now my son has another one, a Note 10, or Note 10
Let me tell you
Plus.
why.
And that's circa
so,
what?
so therefore, if you're Samsung, the way that you try and sell stuff is you try and say this is 50% more performant. This can do ray tracing. It's like, you can notice ray tracing on a 6-inch screen. For God's sake, man, right? And this, all these they have to make. Otherwise, why would you bother?
No,
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just go
you.
and get a 200 quid Moto G or something?
I'll tell you.
Go on then, Bill. I mean, Leo.
Apple. So the whole entire industry is just chasing Apple, right?
Yes.
I mean,
that's
yes,
true.
yes. Android has its feature set sometimes in.
No, but no. That's true. I mean, you just have to see how. Even though liquid glass is a stupid idea.
Oh, it's stupid.
And even you're seeing Android manufacturers in their skins.
The first thing that popped in my head when I read about that was people are going to leave that sitting on the couch. They're not going to see it there. They're going to sit on it and smash it right in half. That's
the phone?
Yeah. It's just a piece of glass. And you'll look right through it. And people,
he's thinking iPhone Air and the S25 Edge thing.
So this is the interface, Bill. So like everything looks like you're looking through a piece of glass and it's like warped and whatever.
Well,
right? But then there's also super thin phones.
They're talking about the first piece of glass phone.
Okay, right. Yeah, different thing, but agreed.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Maybe wasn't that you that shared that, Majid, or was it somebody else?
Well, you're looking it up, Bill. So the entire market is chasing Apple. Right, that's how it's been for years and years and years. And Apple has, no matter what folks say, has a very specific target group in mind, and it is the content creator, the person that makes movies, right? Like stuff like that. Like you're looking at actual, real, professional use case, and that is what they build. They build to that. And because they know there's prestige there, because they know that companies want that people want that, whatever it may be, then they build the stripped down version of it and they sell that to everybody else. And that's how this has been working for years and years and years.
Can I ask a question though? Okay, let me rephrase this. How massive is that market of content creators who are using just smartphones, whether they're Apple or Android, for their content creation? The reason I say this is that every time I see something, I look at all the tech YouTubers that I generally follow. At a certain point, they start getting proper cameras and mirrorless cameras and this video and this, that, and the other, and it's like, and I've only actually genuinely recently only come across one creator who only uses a smartphone for his videos. That's the guy who does the Picky Audio, is an Australian guy. He goes really nerdy into all the earbuds and headphones and does the graphs and he's even made this spreadsheet that you can kind of go into and which features are more important to you, and he'll tell you which one you should look into. And he says, because he actually did as a challenge switch to Android type thing, and he then, as at that point, that he said, by the way, for the last 3 years, all of these videos have been made on my iPhone, and so now I'm going to be making it on my Android phone. To be fair, no, I don't think anybody could tell the difference. Right. But what I'm just saying is that is the only person that I know who uses that. So how big is this market that Samsung is chasing? Is it a massive one? Genuine question. I don't know.
It's about 5 to 8%, right? Because that's at least on desktop, that's about the penetration. But as far as like people that use the phones, I don't know. It's above. It's right. Apple has more than Samsung, I believe, but I don't think it's about that. I think it's more just Apple has cultivated this prestige about them, and
well, somebody has to set the standard. I mean, it's not that if Apple didn't set the pace, Samsung wouldn't do it. It just happens to be Apple that is making the thing. Samsung can kind of sit back and let Apple release what they want, and then see how the market responds to it, and if they want to sort of copy that technology.
Kind of, but then they came up with the S25 Edge before the iPhone Air to say that they'd made the world's thinnest phone before Apple.
Well, here comes this thing.
Right.
Yeah. So by the way, they've both been complete flops, by the way.
Right. Nobody wants that.
Because nobody wants to have a phone which dies by 2:00 in the afternoon. Do you know what I mean?
Or a phone that you can't hold on to.
Right. But so the thing is that Apple does is they're not necessarily the innovators. Like, they weren't even the very first smartphone, right? Yeah. Like, they've been doing this thing where they see what's out there, make some changes to it, make it high quality, and then put it out. And high quality can be divisive, I'm sure.
Yeah, however you want to define that. Yeah.
Right, but it quickly became the standard. The iPhone quickly displaced every other phone, cementing Apple's prestige, right? Like, it wasn't a great phone. Like, actually, the very first iPhone really kind of sucked, but it had features and looked better than all the other phones. So,
but what about this thing here? Does anybody want one of these?
That's going to be another flop.
Nobody wants any of that.
You lay that on your couch and you sit on it because you can't see it.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so having said all this stuff about how everybody holds on to their phones, I've got a new phone. And the phone that
this was all a build up to that, wasn't it?
It was.
No, not really, but the only, because I actually wasn't going to mention it because I knew guys would take the piss out of me for it. But this
we did that with everything you say, though.
Yeah, fair point. This has got a 7,000 milliamp hour battery. It is crazy. It's going minimum 36 hours between charges.
This is what blows my mind, Majid. This is why I use iPhones, dude. Minimum 36 hours? Are you kidding me? That is abysmal. Abysmal. If I'm not going 2 days on my phone, I'm upset. 48 hours.
Okay, so you charge only every 2 days?
Yes. Yeah. Well, if I let it get all the way down, yes, that's the idea.
Okay. Well, if I let it go all the way down, then it would be longer. It's just, I think I charged it yesterday when it hit 15%, just because of the fact that I wanted to update something.
Yeah.
I could have left it. I could have let it going for longer, and Bill, it probably would have been 48 hours. To be honest.
I keep mine between 40 and 80, so there's no way. I don't know.
Bill, you have no idea how many videos I watch in the bathroom, okay? Just so we're clear.
Let's talk about your bathroom habits.
Well, I mean, they could be healthy.
Getting enough fiber?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, for sure. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I do watch video on this. I was watching The Beast in Me on Netflix on this, which is good, by the way. And the actor that plays the antagonist is Welsh. You'd never know, because he has, acted really well. Matthew Rhys, I'm a big fan. But anyway, I'm just saying that most important thing for everybody is always battery life, I think. Mm-hmm. And second is camera. And then third is probably the operating system, if you're lucky.
Yeah. Battery life is what got me over onto the Apple side in the first place, man. My wife gave me a super rundown iPhone 7 Plus, and it was still, miles ahead of battery life of my current Nexus. It was before they did the Pixels, right? I had
but the Nexus were always shit when it came to battery life.
But they all were, though, because it wasn't the only Android phone I've ever had. They were all pretty terrible. Let me explain it to you. This is the difference, right? With my Nexus phone and any other Android phone that I had, in the back of my mind, I always had to know where a charger was, right? Like, I always had to either have one with me or know where one was plugged into the wall, so that at any given moment I'd be able to plug it in. And you'd probably want to do that a little bit before you went to bed, because it might die overnight, or you just want to charge it overnight. There were like rules in my head about how I needed to handle this. When my wife gave me the iPhone, I found that in the first month, all of that went away. I charged it up, and I did not care. I left the house. It doesn't matter, whatever. I would go to work. I would come back. I would go to bed with it at like 12% and wake up to it at like 6%. And that was because I got messages all night long.
And so that's why I agree with you, actually. And that's why I, for the longest time, was on OnePlus phones, because they had bigger batteries, and they had faster charging, like real fast charging. So like, this 7,000 milliamp hour battery charges in about 35 minutes. It's insane. And that's always been the way that, you put it in, plug it in for 10 minutes while you're having a shower or something, you come back out again, you got the rest of the day all right. And that's why I generally didn't use the Samsungs until more recently, when battery life did get better. Because that bit I agree with. I remember, I remember having a Galaxy S6, I think it was, and I knew that I had to charge it at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because it would be almost dead. And so you would, and that's when I started keeping a charger in my bag. Before that, I never used to keep a charger in my bag. But now, as I said, I probably don't need to. I don't need to worry. I don't charge it overnight. I don't, because it's just really long battery life. But hey, I suppose because I've never really daily driven an iPhone, I don't really know what their battery life is like. So,
yeah, and it's really hard for me to tell anymore, because now chargers are built into everything, right? Like if I want CarPlay, I'll plug it in, because the audio quality is slightly better than using the wireless CarPlay. So, so I'll plug it in, I'll get, trickle charge there, and then I'll come home and I've got a little QI charger thing that I'll flop it down on. So, I mean, it's always like, kind of like Bill said, it's always between 40 and 80. So, I mean, I don't feel that nearly as much anymore, but like, I don't feel like I'm being punished if I don't plug it in anywhere. Like, it's just nice. And it's been nice every iPhone I had. I even had the 12 mini with the tiniest battery of the entire line. And I was almost getting 2 days on the thing, and that's with, active use or whatever. Yeah. So
consistently, I always found the Pixels having the worst battery life. And I think part of it is to do with the amount of phoning home that device does.
Does it really do much more? I feel like Samsung would do it twice as much.
That's the only explanation I have of why you would have a phone that you don't use, leave it all night, and it loses 20% of battery life.
I've got one.
You haven't used it.
Yeah, it's that Android is kind of shit, and Google is also kind of shit.
But my point being that why the Pixel phone is doing that, while the other ones aren't. That's my point.
Right. No, exactly. But what I said, both things can be true at the same time, right? And I think what happens is that Samsung tends to tweak it, right? Tweak Android, and then the devices themselves may be better quality. I don't know, but
I mean, I think you kind of have to look at all the different skins that are on all these different Android phones as being like distros, basically.
Yeah, they are. It's all the same gunk underneath.
Yeah, it's all the same gunk, but they're significantly different on the top end. They're like in the same way that GNOME is different to KDE, and KDE is different to Cinemas, and all that sort of stuff. And so, and we know that, don't we? That you can have a Linux desktop that is really performant, or you can have a Linux desktop that's a bit baggy or needs a bit more system resources, things like that. So I think it's in that way it's the same kind of paradigm. I think about on the phones.
Yeah, when Google introduced their deep sleep thing, I think that's really kind of when it changed for me. It seemed like that really had a huge impact on battery.
That did actually. I remember that actually. That did make a difference actually.
Yeah, Apple just did it better. Like before that time, they had done it better, and even after that, they were still doing it better. I think Google has probably gotten it to the point now where it's where like it can tell apps to actually shut up. But that was, I think, the biggest problem for me, was that the operating system had no way to tell the app to not do things, and it would just do it. So, I mean, your battery would run down overnight. I woke up to so many dead phones, and like, had to charge it up as much as I could before work. This is where those fast chargers come in. But I don't care about how fast my charger is on my iPhone. Like 10% on it, that's fine. It'll last the party. We'll come back. We'll charge it some more. I don't care. Like it was not really a concern at all.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think we've hit an hour, haven't we, Bill?
Have we?
I think pretty close. We might as well go ahead and wrap it up. Tell us what you think, folks. show@linuxotc.org. Hit us up on Mastodon. We're on Discord all day long. Yeah. Tell us if you're getting 6 days of battery out of your phone.
Or 7.
Maybe 7, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
6 or 7.
Give or take.
I almost had it that time.
Almost.
Anything. Anyway, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm Bill.
I'm Majid.
I'm Leo.